And we are live. I love how bright it is. I kind of do. I hope I appear very angelic. It's currently 7:38 a.m. I woke up. I like to try to read in the mornings. Um, Sometimes write, but read mainly just to kind of, um, I don't know, change my mind a little because I feel as if most, if not all, I mean, including myself at times, that we wake up and we just sort of like go to the screen immediately, and we don't let our minds wander. Or sorry, um, got these cool big incenses. I don't like using them all the time, but I do like using them some. But I feel like as a world, we immediately go to the screen. Um, and I guess for me, I wanted to come on here today and talk about a few different topics. Not sure how long it would be, or this is going to be, but I saw a topic not too long ago about if AI was actually smart or intelligent, um, or is it just some like operating system that holds information? So I was thinking about that throughout the night as I was sleeping and waking up periodically. I know I dreamed. I had a dream of some sort, but I do not remember the dream at all. Um, I kind of like that. Um, but I was contemplating to type in words and to like, okay, AI for us as a public, I think we interact with it more on a language sort of way. That's how we talk to it or interact with it. And I'm not even like I'm not against it, AI, but it's hard to just outrun it. You can't outrun it if you use technology now. You can't. Sorry, you can be your little pseudo activist. And some of my favorite people are the people who are always preaching on their phones. Um, all these virtue signaling things on their phone where they're like, it's not okay. There's a difference between like posting your thoughts and then reposting other people's like posts and just regurgitating something. In my opinion, I think when you like post your thoughts and your ideas, you're allowing yourself to be interpreted, but you're also giving your opinion. But when you're just virtue signaling and reposting things, you're not really doing anything. You're almost just following a line. You're just like, oh, that group of people are screaming, and I kind of care about that, so I'm gonna scream too. Um, I think in our world now, wrapping this back into the AI talk, um, information is more or less like information is at our disposal, which I think turns information into a weapon. When you can dispose of information, you can manipulate the the intention, but also like the outcome of your projected your projected information. And when you have information being summed into one thing, just as we have turned a lot of our technologies and devices into one thing. I mean, I'm talking about the smartphone. Um, it creates a new relationship onto people, and it affects people and cultures very differently, very, very differently. Especially with like when you're bringing in religious factors over scientific factors, or excuse me, just certain morals in certain groups. Huh. As you can see, it's the morning. My body's burping and stuff, but excuse me. I think when you put information as a disposal, um, as a sort of scapegoat into nothingness or somethingness, where it can really affect a situation where it can really just be disposed. Information doesn't become information doesn't become something that is merely useful to situations or to activities. Information becomes a much more um, niche thing where you have certain groups of people who are very tuned in to figuring things out and gathering information and whatnot. But you also have like the relationship of who is giving you the information is gone. The who is gone. The what is there. The screen, the phone, the website. That is the what. That is giving me the information. But the who is gone. And sure, it's like, oh, I'm watching this guy, or Kurt Cobain over there. If you see him, I learned about Kurt Cobain online. You know what I mean? I didn't have anyone, sure, there's people telling me, oh, yeah, Nirvana, but I had to learn, all the things I've learned about Kurt Cobain and Nirvana through online. It wasn't a who, it was a what. So, yeah, that's good. With the what in mind, the what um, is a lot more replaceable than the who. The who begins to not matter when you access uh, information through the screen. The screen automatically dictates everything. You have to go into the screen first to access something. That is really important, in my opinion. That is really important. It's not like, oh, is it good or bad? Most people ask those questions because that's all they exist in. They exist in happy and sad and evil and good and bad. But like, I'm trying to present the idea of moving the source towards a what instead of a who, and the why apart. The why are we searching for information, or why are we need information for this? Definitely loses its sense, because if it's already there existing, the information, whatever it is, someone already knows how to do it. Someone already talks about it. Someone has already written a book about it. You leave a much larger gap of this distinguished. Let's say this is the wall. On this side of the wall, you have information, access to information through the technology or through the electric screen. And on this side of the wall, you have uh, life as a more non-information way where you're just observing it. Information downloaded into meaning, right? Life outside of context and language, where it's just everyday life. Information, like I was saying, it really came from who, before technology took over. So, it stems from coming from flesh to now flesh to metals and screens and whatnot. And I think what's kind of happening now, I don't know if we're definitely seeing it, but it's hard to cater towards this um, global thing that we're all sort of chasing in the technological social media world. I remember wanting to. Okay, so I remember when I was posting on TikTok in high school, I was posting like sad TikToks. I think they're still out there if you find them. Um, just TikToks of how I was feeling in high school, and I posted one like got like 130,000 views and some thousand likes or whatever. And I remember like getting a feeling of like, oh my god, I have to post more because I just got seen 130,000 times. And obviously, I didn't keep posting in that certain format to gain a following. Um, but however, that is what people do. They have a blow up. They have something that works, and they ride it. They ride it till the end, and that's kind of what the algorithm and social media has done to our forms of expression. Um, it's this is to me, this is what I'm trying to talk about is a very. It's not something you can just talk about in the sense of like bad, good, evil, happy. No, it's not. It's a much larger, abstract conversation because there's so many effects of technology, the screens that I don't think are noticed. Spit jug. And these things that are, go unnoticed or that go untalked about are very, I would say, very, they're very, um, it's very easy to throw different words over these things. I think I posted on my Instagram story something along the lines where the television in its first form was a screen that could broadcast channels of the projected image. What the smartphone is compared to the television. What the smartphone is this. It's this electrical current that harnesses entertainment, information, and something else. I mean, and convenience. I'd say like your surplus. At your disposal, and it exists in your pocket. It doesn't turn off. It's like a 24/7 cycle of it. The television in its first form. I mean, you had certain times of day where you'd wake up and watch the news, and then you'd go carry on, and then you get back home. 5 o'clock news are on. My dad would always tell me about Saturday morning cartoons and shit, and and I started to go back into my mind of what I remembered of television. 'Cause we still had cable growing up. Like I don't even know when the big change was from like technology, like to the short form convenience, 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 convenience sort of consumption. I'd say it happened in like the 2010s, obviously, but I was pretty young. Um, but like I remember my relationship with watching things in order that would come on at certain times, like scrolling through the cable network and seeing like Boy Meets World in the morning. I would watch Boy Meets World before school. I'm not that old 'cause I know Boy Meets World was like in the '90s. I'm pretty sure. I was born in 2005, and it would just be reruns and throughout my elementary days. I'd watch Disney after school, Nickelodeon or whatever. But I remember like my relationship with like accessing those things. Like how do I say it? Like now I can really just summon anything I wanted to watch without struggling for it. And some people are so unaware of the depths of technology that they're like, oh, you have to pay for everything nowadays. I'm like, girl, literally, girl, free everything is online. How many websites I could give you where everything is accessible, illegal or not? I'm just telling you. It's the same way with like pornography. At a point it was something you had to go and buy in the store, and now it's accessible at any given moment. And it baffles me. Like certain topics like that just baffle me. And it's not that I can't wrap my mind around it. Like I see why it's there. I understand the outcome of these things and why they are the way they are. But at the same time, it feels so. It feels like this foreign alien and thing that's casting a shadow onto our human world. Oh, I need to stretch my back after this. Can feel it tightening up. It feels like this very foreign thing that's just casting a shadow over us, or at least over our culture. The victim mentality it's definitely inflated with the electrical um, screens now. Like, I think it's easy to fall victim to the problems when you can sort of mirror your mental projection onto the screen via the AI implemented algorithm. Such a wild absurdity. Yeah, I don't think anyone sort of could have predicted. I'm sure there were, but like, you're never gonna, it's never gonna translate perfect. But I remember like YouTube being very like turning on and tuning into this just random factor. And if you liked certain things to watch, sure, you found your little thing, but the it wasn't like the AI or the algorithm was suffocating you with things you liked or things you disliked. It was just like, here it is. Click on it. Maybe. Click on this. Oh, you want to see this random video? The randomness is gone. The madness and chaos of just posting is gone. For me, at least. I think a lot of people argue like TikTok and Reels are as the beginning of that, but you can find the novelty in it. But even then, like it's just so categorized and catered towards me. I don't like that. This morning I really wanted to just dive into this and sit with this. I've been told to put more form and effort into these videos or these lives or whatever. Start catering towards the algorithm. Post these in more of a video format or through shorts and reels and then TikTok. But I don't know if I want to do that. Not in the traditional way. I really like the aspect of downloading downloading your own sort of perspective, making your own little private museum of cool things you like to talk about and paint and look at. Um, so I like posting a lot of art and thoughts and ideas, but it's not that I don't think people would like to hear my opinion, or it's not that I don't think it would be good to like maybe the potential factor of, oh, maybe I gain some recognition, I can make a little money off of it, and isn't that the dream? But I don't live for money. I don't live for this gain. I don't. Sure, you have to in ways, right? But I genuinely hate it. I think it robs us from exploring our universe, our imagination, our world. I like to think about um, technology and screens and television as a drug, a very addictive drug. But I like to view it as sort of like a barrier that kind of stopped or halted time or halted a certain um, level of progression amongst human civilization, um, where it could really paint the narrative and control the mental image of the citizens of whatever place, whatever country, where it paints this very vivid image indoctrinates you, if you will, and holds you there for your entire life. That is kind of the goal I see of technology. But I think the truth is, we are so small in our exploration of things that with the vast amount of people in the world, you would think that, maybe with so many humans, maybe we would all be collectively trying to get somewhere, get to a point of building something better, living in a better area, painting something new, creating something new. But it feels like we're holding up a level of contentment instead of like exploring. I think electric communication is very linear in how it presents itself to life, in which people confuse the linear aspect of technology into that being life. I think life is, life or history of our world is non-linear. It's an exponential sort of growth that can uh, that builds upon itself rather than just acts as this thing that travels like an arrow, where it's just going across the line until it stops. Until, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's the best metaphor or analogy or whatever, but hmm, such a weird world. I'll probably end it here. I could sit here and nod off and talk and do nothing, but I will. I'll be here again.